What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another taping of the Evo Sosa Show. I am your host, Evo Sosa. You have to excuse me. I'm currently doing my pre-trip inspection. I've checked out my tires. I've checked out my mirrors. There's a few defects with this particular truck that I'm going to have to write up, and hopefully, they'll get tended to in the, as T.I. would say, expeditiously. I love that word, expeditiously. It's funny. It comes from lean on me, does it not? Anyway, if you are going to like the comment that I'm about to provide for you, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. My apologies for not being more consistent with my videos, but you guys, to be honest with you, when it comes to YouTube, this is something that I don't think I'll ever get used to doing. Just turning on the telephone and recording just random thoughts and whatnot, or planned out thoughts. This is just something that I'm not used to doing. Nevertheless, I'm trying to do something that I'm uncomfortable with, because I think that's kind of a mark of a real man, a true man, a daring individual. To try to do something that you don't like, especially if you feel like you can contribute something to the world that benefits the world based off of doing it. And that's what I'm doing here. Uh, I'm going to provide you with some information today that I initially was going to read on Bishop Red Pill's channel. By the way, shout out to the Masculine Mercenaries. Shout out to the Mapogo Brethren. Shout out to the affiliates and all people who are associated with the masculine sector. As you know, the Masculine Mercenaries provide content that consists of substance, and so does everyone who hovers around or is associated with them. So I would advise you to become very familiar with the individuals like BGS Idmore, like Dr. T.S.N. Johnson, the Crimson Cure, Bishop Red Pill, Angry Man. Just surf around those names that I've mentioned, and you will find exactly what you need. It may not be what you want, but I guarantee you it will be what you need. Now, with that said, let me put this up. Excuse me. The topic of today, I don't really know what the name is going to be yet, because this is kind of off the hip right now. And what I want to talk to you guys about is, well, I was doing my Nightcrawler thing here over the weekend, meaning bamfing in and out of different channels and panels, and not literally on panels, just viewing them. And something occurred to me that I noticed within a lot of content that I've been seeing and panels that I've been seeing, not necessarily in the masculine sector. There's a shitload of division, and it seems like the manosphere is a direct reflection of the black community. It seems, man. There's a lot of division going on, and it made me think about certain phrases that I hear people say within the masculine order, amongst the masculine mercenaries. There seems to be a saying, we need to get on code. Getting on code. That is what I hear a lot. Getting on code. And I always, we kind of tend to know what that means, but I think there needs to be a little bit more clarity as to what exactly the code is. I have some notes for you guys that I'm going to share. And the manosphere, there are certain places in the manosphere where you can go to and you'll find cohesion. Specifically, like Bishop Red Pill's panel. I notice the brothers on there, well, that panel is a lot different than a lot of other panels. The brothers on there tend to have conversational etiquette. There's not a lot of it's not a lot of, I guess I call it jockeying. You know, like the little bitty guys that ride on the horse and, for the placement of first, second, or third at the end of the race. They're jockeys. I guess we'll call the guys on YouTube and a lot of these panels conversation jockeys. They're trying to like win the favor of the viewer by trying to come in first place with whatever their point is. And I don't tend to do very well on panels because, well, quite frankly, when I'm amongst a lot of people, I have a tendency to click on the record button in my mind, meaning I go into listen mode because I'm always searching for wisdom. That's just what I like. I like to acquire wisdom, and I got to remember, if I'm going to be a part of this YouTube thing, nigga, you were on the panel, you got to talk. So I got to remember that kind of thing. But anyway, getting on code, that's what I want to talk about. And I want to talk about whatever the code is. So I've pondered this, and what exactly is the code that we're supposed to get on? Well, I had to examine the phrase. Getting on code, I guess it's meaning a code of conduct, right? Okay, so what are we supposed to conduct ourselves within? What's the code? Well, that's where my notes come in. Let me go ahead and get my notes here. Because I figured out what code we're supposed to be on. And, okay, what exactly... Oh, there's a lot of stuff in here. Getting on code. What is a code? A code is a systematic statement of a body of law, right? Okay. It's a system of symbols used to represent assigned and often secretive meanings, as in coded language. Coded language is a word or a phrase chosen in place of another word or phrase in order to communicate an attitude or meaning without stating it explicitly. Okay? We got to get on code. So, now we kind of had that once upon a time in hip-hop, but we all know what's going on in hip-hop now. Ain't no code in that shit no more. But, the code that I discovered, or that I feel that we should be on, is what's called a code of honor. And honor is what I want to talk to you guys about today. That's probably what I'll name this video. The code of honor. What exactly is honor? Well, honor is high respect, great esteem. It is adherence to what's right or to a conventional standard of conduct. There's that word, conduct. Code of conduct. We need to be on a code of honor. That is the conduct that is how we must conduct ourselves in an honorable fashion amongst each other as black men. Hell, and black women too. Let me continue, because I got some shit for you. The honor code is what we're talking about. The honor code is a code that governs behavior within a specific community. It typically dictates specific behaviors that are not acceptable, setting an example for members of the community to follow, right? Honor denotes a fine sense of a strict conformity to what is considered morale, right, or due. Honor denotes the presence of probity. That's a very interesting word that I did not hear a lot of. I remember hearing it in high school, but probity, I had to look that up, and I looked up the definition of, and probity is a strict adherence to a code of ethics based on undeviating honesty, especially beyond legal requirements. Side note, when it comes to honor and your personal code of honor, I want you to check out a website called ChristopherDClothier.com. CLOTHIER, Clothier.com. And that has that website has what's called the 6 virtues that shape a meaningful personal code of honor. And just a little small sentence of this great piece of information that I just referred you to. In there, he states that honor literally is an extra layer of accountability. That shit is brilliant. Now, I just explained to you code of honor, and quite honestly, I think that a lot of brothers have forgotten not only who they are. Well, I mean, because we don't come from here, but I really think that a lot of brothers have forgotten where they are. If you think about where you are and remember where you are, then you will be more likely to want to develop a code of honor amongst yourselves. Well, where are you? I'm not talking about the state that you live in or the city you live in. I'm talking about the fucking country you live in. This is the United States. And the United States has a foundational purpose that we have greatly taken a blind eye to. Now, what am I talking about? Well, I want to share with you what I feel the foundational vision of the United States was. Black man, listen up. Head up, eyes and ears, the fuck open. All right, listen. The foundational vision of the United States. The original idea for the United States was very much as a nation for Europeans. And until 1965, there was an immigration policy deliberately designed to maintain the white majority. Indians and blacks that were here were not recognized as American citizens, so the idea that this was supposed to be a nation that welcomes all sorts of people from all around the world is a fabrication. The motto on the Great Seal of the United States is E Pluribus Unum. All right? Now, most of you know what that is, but I'm going to explain it, what it is. E Pluribus Unum, which means out of many, one. Right? Many Americans think this means out of many different races and ethnicities, we are going to make one people, and this is completely preposterous. It is wrong. That is wrong. All right? E pluribus unum meant that out of the 13 colonies, the 13 original colonies, one country was to be formed. The idea that this was a broadcasting of multiracial idealism to the world is completely ridiculous, okay? Now, let me continue. The people who govern the United States, of course, have radically departed from this vision, and in doing so have distorted the history of the United States and claim to be fulfilling the destiny of the United States, and this is where you, black man, are all wrong. You are fooled, black man. This delusion is based from a single phrase in the Declaration of Independence. This was signed in 1776 with the purpose not to set aside the governing rules of the United States, but it does include in its preamble that all men are created equal. This phrase has been greatly misinterpreted, probably more than anything in history, all right? The idea that Thomas Jefferson, who was a Southern aristocrat and slave owner, thought that all people and groups were created equal was silly. No, black man, listen. The preamble was a direct message to King George III, who was the King of England, with whom this document was addressed, that you and I are equal, and that it is our right to determine our destiny. After Jefferson wrote it, he said that it didn't contain any new principles. It was simply a statement of grievance against the British colonies and an explanation of why the 13 colonies were declaring independence. Okay? This is the place you live in. The purpose of this Declaration of Independence was to explain to the world why the United States, from being a colony of Britain, decided to form I messed up. To form a unitary state, one nation of 13 colonies, and became independent. The United States has never and will never be egalitarian. Egalitarian meaning that all people are created equal. That is not what this place that you are now in, black man, was designed to be. So what does this mean for you? Since it was not designed for you to be here, well, guess what? You're going to be treated like you don't belong here. And that is what you are seeing. We're getting blasted. Our women are not cooperating. This is all by design. Black man, you must get on code. And the code that you must get on, you must develop a code of conduct. And the way you should conduct yourselves is in an honorable fashion. I've just provided you what honor means. I've just provided you the conduct that you need to be amongst, okay? Code of conduct, the code of honor is what you need to embrace. What you need to really formulate in your mind and develop a sense of morality and embrace this, please. Honor your brother. When you, look, let me close this shit up. All this talk about value, whether you're high or low value as a man, that's some bullshit. It's bullshit. All right? Because how dare one man decide the value of another man? You sound like a fucking slave owner. How dare you? Your education means nothing here. Of course, it is very applaudable and it's admirable if you have several doctorate degrees and you know, but guess what? That makes you no better than the next man. See, no man is better than the next man. That word better, you got to be mindful how you use that. You can only be better at something. Let me repeat that. No man is better than the next man. You can only be better at something. You may be more intelligent than me. You may have a wider and extensive vocabulary than me. You may have more money than me. You may have a bigger house than me. Your wife might be in better shape. Your kids might be better off. You may have a better job. But that does not mean you're better than me. Period. Every man determines his own value. The man himself determines his value. No one else can determine your value as a man. So, if you're viewing this, I really want you to be mindful of who the fuck you listen to out here, who's determining the criteria of what's high value. It's bullshit, and it's divisive. And if you listen to it, you will never, ever be on code, and you will remain fucked up the way you are now, black man. I advise and implore you to carefully consider what I've read to you today and what I'm talking to you about today. I got to get my ass to work now. My team is probably going off because they're wondering where the fuck I am. But I had to provide this information because I've been sitting on it, and I don't have enough time to do a regular Ebo Sosa show with the graphics and all that shit. So I'm doing it like this, hoping and praying that you will listen and absorb, harness what is being said here. Stop allowing your mind to be manipulated to be more divided and widening the gap of division amongst us as a people. If you like this video, subscribe to this video. I had a person ask me why I don't request for donations. Well, okay. Well, my Cash App is $ at the Ebo Sosa Show at Cash App. I don't really like donations because I think you donate to entertainment. If I'm entertaining you, fine, that's cool. But I like the word tithe better. I think tithes are a lot better because you tend to tithe to the message. You tend to tithe to the policy of the individual. And if you like what I'm on, if you like my state of mind and what I'm conveying to you, then go ahead and tithe to me, please. $Ebo Sosa Show at Cash App. All right? I hope that you've enjoyed this. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, and be on the lookout for more content. When time permits, I will be able to sit down in more of a calm, organized fashion to provide you with some shit that you enjoy. And I look forward to your comments. I try to address every last one of you guys because I greatly appreciate anyone that gives me the time of day. I'm just an ordinary man who is concerned about his people. All right, I love you all, and you guys take care. Peace.